Well, the partnership is a strong one between Europe and the Caribbean, specifically between the European Union and the African, Caribbean, and Pacific countries. So the EU has a partnership arrangement, a development funding arrangement under a system known as the European Development Fund. It was important for us to look at schedules, look at landmarks that we must meet, look at expiration dates. 2020 is an important date that we needed to consider. And most of all, it was to the point that you made earlier. It was about looking at how Britain's exit from the European Union might affect the arrangements between the Caribbean, as far as tourism is concerned, and the EU. So specifically, the UK is an important contributor to the European Development Fund. With the UK's exit, what does that do to the fund itself? Those are important questions which we needed to ask. It's important to note that the UK has in fact been a strong and meaningful voice for the Caribbean in the European community for a very long time. What happens if that voice is reduced or in fact is absent from a particular forum where the Caribbean needs a voice? This is not to suggest that the Caribbean doesn't have other friends in Europe, but clearly we needed to go and make sure that we ask the right questions to the extent that there are any answers, and there were some interesting answers. Another outcome which we have to keep our eyes on always is the fact that the CTO has the honor of representing a variety of countries within the Caribbean, including some that are European protectorates, parts of Europe, and some that are, of course, parts of the UK. When the arrangement between the UK and Europe changes, as it certainly will with Brexit, what are those arrangements between our member countries that are parts of Europe and our member countries that are parts of the UK? And so there was a variety of items on the agenda which were of common interest to the Caribbean and to the European Union, which needed to be discussed.